You wake up every morning and look in the mirror, and something feels off. You're working hard, doing everything society tells you to do, yet you feel stuck. Same patterns, same problems, same version of yourself year after year. Here's what nobody tells you. The reason you're not transforming isn't because you're not doing enough. It's because you're still doing things that are actively destroying your potential. You're carrying habits, behaviors, and beliefs that are keeping you exactly where you are. The Stoics understood something profound. Marcus Aurelius ruled the most powerful empire in the world, yet he wrote the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Epictetus taught that true freedom comes not from adding more to your life, but from eliminating what enslaves you. Seneca practiced voluntary discomfort to strip away weakness. These men became unrecognizable versions of themselves not by doing more, but by stopping the things that were holding them back. Today, I'm going to show you the 6 things you must stop doing immediately if you want to transform into someone unrecognizable. These aren't small adjustments. These are radical eliminations that will fundamentally change who you are. If you have the courage to stop these 6 things, you won't recognize yourself in 6 months. The person you'll become will be so far beyond your current self that looking back will feel like looking at a stranger. Before we begin, go to the comments and write, "I choose transformation." Let's start. Stop seeking comfort in every moment. The first thing you must stop is your addiction to comfort. Every single day, you choose comfort over growth. You stay in bed when the alarm rings because the blanket is warm. You avoid difficult conversations because they make you uncomfortable. You don't start that project because failure feels scary. You eat junk food because it tastes good right now. You scroll social media because thinking is harder than consuming. Your entire life is designed around avoiding discomfort, and that's exactly why you're not transforming. Here's the brutal truth: comfort is killing your potential. Every time you choose the easy path, you reinforce weakness. Every time you avoid discomfort, you train yourself to be fragile. You're becoming softer, weaker, more dependent on external conditions being perfect. Marcus Aurelius woke up and told himself at dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, "I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for?" He didn't wait to feel ready. He didn't wait for perfect conditions. He acted despite discomfort. Look at your life right now. Every area where you're stuck, you'll find comfort seeking. Your body isn't changing because you choose comfortable food over healthy discipline. Your career isn't advancing because you choose comfortable mediocrity over uncomfortable growth. Your relationships aren't deepening because you choose comfortable surface level over uncomfortable authenticity. Seneca practiced what he called voluntary discomfort. He would periodically sleep on a hard floor, eat plain food, and wear rough clothes. Not because he was poor, but because he was training himself. He wrote, "Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare. Do this so that you may learn whether there is anything to fear in poverty." Here's what happens when you stop seeking comfort. You start doing things before you feel ready. You have difficult conversations immediately instead of avoiding them. You wake up when you should, not when you feel like it. You eat what serves your goals, not what satisfies your cravings. You face your fears instead of running from them. Your transformation begins the moment you become comfortable being uncomfortable. Stop waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect feeling, the perfect conditions. Start acting despite discomfort and watch yourself become unrecognizable. Stop consuming without creating. The second thing you must stop is endless consumption without creation. You spend hours every day consuming content. scrolling feeds, watching videos, reading posts, absorbing everyone else's thoughts, everyone else's lives, everyone else's creations. You're a spectator in life, watching others build while you just watch. How many hours did you spend last week consuming? Be honest. Hours on social media, hours watching shows, hours reading about what others are doing. Now ask yourself, how many hours did you spend creating? Creating anything. Writing, building, making, producing something that didn't exist before you acted. The ratio is destroying you. You consume 10 hours for every 1 hour you create, maybe worse. You're filling your mind with everyone else's ideas and leaving no room for your own. You're training yourself to be a consumer, not a creator, a spectator, not a player. Epictetus taught, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. He understood that consuming philosophy without practicing it is worthless. The Stoics didn't just read about virtue, they lived it. They didn't just think about principles, they applied them. They created their lives through action, not consumption. Here's what constant consumption does to you. It gives you the illusion of progress without actual progress. You watch a video about fitness and feel like you've worked out. You read about success and feel like you've succeeded. You consume motivation and feel motivated for 30 minutes, then do nothing. Your brain can't tell the difference between real action and vicarious experience, so you get the dopamine hit without the actual work. Stop consuming other people's lives and start creating your own. Every hour you spend scrolling is an hour stolen from building something meaningful. Every hour watching others succeed is an hour you could have spent working toward your own success. Here's your new rule. For every hour you consume, you must create for 2 hours. Watch 1 hour of content, create for 2. This ratio forces you to become a creator instead of just a consumer. Write, build, make, produce. Create content, create solutions, create value, create something. Marcus Aurelius didn't spend his time reading about how other emperors ruled. He governed. He made decisions. He created order from chaos. He wrote his meditations not to be published, but to clarify his own thinking. He was a creator, not a consumer. When you stop consuming and start creating, something powerful happens. You develop your own voice instead of echoing others. You build your own path instead of following someone else's. You become someone who makes things happen instead of someone who watches things happen. If you're ready to stop consuming without creating, write in the comments, I am a creator, not a consumer. Stop explaining yourself to people who don't matter. The third thing you must stop is explaining yourself to people who don't matter. You spend enormous energy justifying your choices, defending your decisions, explaining your path to people who will never understand and whose opinion has zero impact on your life. You're seeking approval from people who aren't even on your journey. Why are you trying to make people understand who aren't capable of understanding? Why are you explaining your vision to people who can't see it? Why are you defending your choices to people who will criticize no matter what you do? Every minute you spend explaining yourself to the wrong people is a minute stolen from becoming yourself. Epictetus taught, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. He understood that other people's opinions, especially from those who don't understand your path, are completely irrelevant. Your transformation will look foolish to people who aren't transforming. Your discipline will look extreme to people who are comfortable. Your choices will seem wrong to people who are making different choices. Look at how much energy you waste. Your family doesn't understand why you wake up at 5 in the morning, so you explain. Your friends don't understand why you've stopped drinking, so you defend. Your co-workers don't understand why you're pursuing something different, so you justify. All this explaining accomplishes nothing except draining your energy and diluting your conviction. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." He didn't explain his philosophy to everyone. He lived it. He didn't justify his stoicism to critics. He practiced it. He understood that your life is your argument, not your words. Here's the truth. People who matter don't need explanations. They see your actions and understand. People who don't matter won't understand no matter how much you explain. Stop wasting energy on the second group. Seneca said it perfectly. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Most of the judgment you fear doesn't even exist. People are too busy with their own lives to care about yours as much as you think, and the few who do judge harshly. Their opinion changes nothing about your path. Stop explaining. Stop justifying. Stop defending. Just do what you know is right and let your results speak. When people ask why you're doing something differently, simply say this works for me and move on. No lengthy explanations. No defensive justifications. Just quiet confidence in your path. Here's what changes when you stop explaining yourself. You conserve massive amounts of energy. You stop second-guessing your decisions based on others' reactions. You develop unshakable conviction because you're no longer diluting it with constant justification. You become unmovable. The people who are meant to understand will understand through your actions. The people who aren't meant to understand don't deserve your explanations. Stop talking about what you're doing and just do it in silence. If you're ready to stop explaining yourself to people who don't matter, write in the comments, "My actions speak louder than my explanations." Stop waiting for permission to become who you're meant to be. The fourth thing you must stop is waiting for permission. You're waiting for someone to tell you it's okay to pursue your dream. You're waiting for conditions to be perfect. You're waiting for approval from parents, from friends, from society. You're waiting to feel ready, to feel confident, to feel certain. You'll wait forever. Nobody is going to give you permission to become great. Nobody is going to validate your unconventional path. Nobody is going to tell you yes. Now is the perfect time to start. You're waiting for a green light that will never come because you are the only one who can give yourself permission. Epictetus was born a slave. Think about that. The lowest possible position in Roman society. He didn't wait for permission to study philosophy. He didn't wait for society to tell him a slave could become wise. He studied under Musonius Rufus while still enslaved. He learned. He grew. He became one of the most influential philosophers in history. He gave himself permission when the entire world told him no. Look at what you're waiting for permission to do. Start that business. You're waiting for financial security that may never come. Leave that toxic relationship. You're waiting for the right moment that doesn't exist. Pursue that creative project. You're waiting to feel confident enough. Change careers. You're waiting for someone to tell you it's not too late. Every day you wait is a day lost. Every moment you spend seeking permission is a moment you could spend taking action. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now." Let that determine what you do and say and think. He understood that life is too short to wait for permission. Here's the uncomfortable truth. If you wait until you feel ready, you'll never start. Readiness comes through action, not before it. You become confident by acting despite fear, not by waiting until fear disappears. You become capable by doing things you're not yet capable of doing. Seneca wrote, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." Your waiting makes everything harder. The longer you delay, the more fear builds, the more excuses accumulate, the more impossible it seems. Stop asking, "What if I fail?" Stop asking, "What if I succeed?" Stop asking, "Am I ready?" Start asking, "Will I learn by doing?" Stop asking, "What will people think?" Start asking, "What will I think of myself if I don't try?" Here's your new permission slip. You give yourself permission. Right now. Today. You don't need your parents' approval to pursue your path. You don't need your friends' validation to make changes. You don't need society's blessing to be different. You need your own decision. Give yourself permission to start before you're ready. Give yourself permission to be a beginner. Give yourself permission to fail spectacularly. Give yourself permission to disappoint people who expect you to stay the same. Give yourself permission to become unrecognizable. The Stoics called this living according to nature. Your nature, your purpose, your potential. Not according to others' expectations. Marcus Aurelius governed an empire, but he didn't wait for permission to practice philosophy. Epictetus taught emperors, but he didn't wait for status to share wisdom. Seneca influenced Rome, but he didn't wait for approval to live virtuously. When you stop waiting for permission, everything changes. You start immediately. You act on opportunities instead of overthinking them. You pursue your path regardless of who validates it. You become unstoppable because you're no longer waiting for anyone's approval. If you're ready to stop waiting for permission, write in the comments, "I give myself permission to transform." Stop tolerating energy vampires. The fifth thing you must stop is tolerating people who drain your energy. You know exactly who I'm talking about. The friend who only calls when they need something. The family member who criticizes every decision you make. The co-worker who spreads negativity like a disease. The person who takes and never gives back. You keep them in your life out of obligation, out of guilt, out of history, while they slowly drain your vitality. Here's what you need to understand. Your energy is your most valuable resource. Not your time, not your money. Your energy. With energy, you can create time and earn money. Without energy, you waste time and sabotage money. These people are stealing your most valuable resource, and you're letting them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be like the cliff against which the waves continually break, but it stands firm and tames the fury of the water around it." But he also knew when to remove himself from toxic influences. He didn't tolerate advisors who drained him. He didn't keep relationships that weakened him. Assess your relationships honestly. After spending time with each person in your life, do you feel energized or depleted, inspired or discouraged, better or worse? Your body knows the answer before your mind can rationalize it. That heaviness you feel after certain interactions. That's your energy being drained. Epictetus taught keep company with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. Notice what he didn't say. He didn't say keep company with everyone. He didn't say tolerate toxic people out of obligation. He said choose people who make you better. You're not being cruel by eliminating energy vampires. You're being wise. You have limited energy. Spending it on people who drain you means you have less for people who deserve it, including yourself. Every hour with someone who depletes you is an hour stolen from someone who energizes you. Here's how to identify energy vampires. They make every conversation about themselves. They dismiss your achievements. They highlight your failures. They never celebrate your wins. They create drama constantly. They refuse to take responsibility. They blame everyone else. They complain endlessly without changing anything. They take your advice, ignore it, then complain about the same problem again. Seneca wrote, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those whom you are capable of improving. Mutual benefit, mutual growth, not one-sided draining. Stop making excuses for them. But we've been friends for years, so what? Years of draining you doesn't obligate you to more years, but they're family. Family doesn't give someone the right to destroy your peace. But they need me. They need to learn to help themselves, and your enabling prevents that. Here's what you do. Start creating distance. Not dramatic announcements, just quiet withdrawal. Respond less frequently. Decline invitations. Reduce contact. Most won't even notice because they were only focused on what they could take from you. The ones who notice and ask, be honest but kind. I'm protecting my energy right now. Some relationships need complete elimination. The truly toxic ones. The abusive ones. The ones where every interaction leaves you feeling worse. Cut these entirely. No guilt, no explanation needed. Just remove them from your life and watch your energy return. When you stop tolerating energy vampires, space opens up. Space for relationships that energize you. Space for people who celebrate your growth. Space for friends who challenge you to be better. Space for family who support your transformation. Fill your life with people who add energy, not subtract it. Marcus Aurelius surrounded himself with wise advisors like Epictetus's teachings. He eliminated flatterers and sycophants. He chose growth over comfort in relationships. You must do the same. If you're ready to stop tolerating energy vampires, write in the comments, "I protect my energy fiercely." Stop living on autopilot. The sixth and final thing you must stop is living on autopilot. You wake up and follow the same routine without thinking. You go to the same job and do the same tasks mechanically. You have the same conversations, eat the same foods, think the same thoughts, follow the same patterns day after day, year after year. You're not living consciously. You're just repeating yesterday on a loop. This is the most dangerous thing on this list because it's invisible. You don't realize you're doing it. Your life becomes a series of unconscious habits and automatic responses. You stop choosing and start reacting. You stop creating your life and start accepting whatever life gives you. Marcus Aurelius practiced daily self-examination. Every evening he reviewed his day. What did he do well? Where did he fail? What could he improve? He wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they can't tell good from evil." He prepared consciously for each day instead of stumbling through it on autopilot. Look at your last week. How many conscious decisions did you make versus unconscious reactions? Did you choose what you ate or just eat whatever was convenient? Did you decide how to spend your time or just let time happen to you? Did you think about your thoughts or just let your mind wander wherever it wanted? Living on autopilot means your past is creating your future. Your habits from yesterday determine your actions today, which create the same results tomorrow. Nothing changes because you're not consciously changing anything. You're just a passenger in your own life. Epictetus taught, "No thing great is created suddenly, any more than a bunch of grapes or a fig. If you tell me that you desire a fig, I answer you that there must be time. Let it first blossom, then bear fruit, then ripen." Conscious growth requires conscious effort. You must wake up from autopilot and start directing your life intentionally. Here's how to stop living on autopilot. First, practice the morning pause. Before you check your phone, before you start your routine, take 3 minutes. Sit quietly. Ask yourself, what do I want to create today? What kind of person do I want to be today? What matters most today? This simple pause breaks autopilot and inserts conscious intention. Second, question your habits. Everything you do habitually, ask why. Why do I eat this? Why do I go here? Why do I spend time on this? Why do I react this way? Most of your habits exist simply because they existed yesterday. No better reason. Question them. Keep the ones that serve your transformation. Eliminate the rest. Third, create conscious check-ins throughout the day. Set 3 alarms, morning, afternoon, evening. When each alarm rings, stop whatever you're doing and ask, am I acting consciously right now or on autopilot? Is what I'm doing right now aligned with who I want to become? These interruptions force consciousness. Seneca practiced what he called living each day as if it were your last, not in a reckless way, but in a conscious way. He wrote, "Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Let us balance life's books each day." He lived consciously because he knew autopilot leads to wasted life. Here's what changes when you stop autopilot living. You start making real choices instead of following patterns. You notice opportunities you've been walking past for years. You catch yourself in negative thought patterns before they spiral. You respond to situations instead of reacting unconsciously. You create your life instead of accepting whatever happens. Your transformation cannot happen on autopilot. Transformation requires conscious, deliberate change. You must wake up, pay attention, make conscious choices. Direct your actions toward who you want to become instead of unconsciously repeating who you've been. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. Your way of thinking must be conscious. Examine your thoughts, question your beliefs, challenge your assumptions, choose your perspective. Stop letting your mind run on autopilot. Every moment lived consciously is a moment of transformation. Every automatic reaction you catch and consciously choose instead is growth. Every habit you question and intentionally redesign is evolution. You cannot become unrecognizable while living the same way unconsciously. If you're ready to stop living on autopilot, write in the comments, "I choose consciousness. I choose transformation." If you've made it this far, you now know the 6 things you must stop to become unrecognizable. Stop seeking comfort. Stop consuming without creating. Stop explaining yourself to people who don't matter. Stop waiting for permission. Stop tolerating energy vampires. Stop living on autopilot. Now tell me in the comments, which one will you stop first? You don't need to tackle all 6 simultaneously. Choose the one that's holding you back the most and eliminate it completely. Maybe it's comfort seeking. Maybe it's endless consumption. Maybe it's toxic relationships. Maybe it's autopilot living. Write in the comments which one you're eliminating first. This targeted approach transforms you faster than trying to change everything at once. One thing eliminated completely changes your life more than 6 things eliminated halfway. Remember to do this in silence. That's the Stoic way. You don't announce your transformation. You don't seek approval. You don't create drama. You simply stop what doesn't serve you and become unrecognizable through action, not words. The Stoics knew that real transformation happens in silence. Marcus Aurelius didn't announce his practices. Epictetus didn't seek an audience. Seneca didn't make a spectacle. They simply acted consistently in silence. In 6 months, if you stop these 6 things, you won't recognize yourself. The person you'll become will be so far beyond your current self that looking back will feel like looking at a stranger. But it requires action, not just understanding. Stop these things today. Start your transformation now. I encourage you to subscribe and comment so YouTube recognizes these videos are valuable. I sincerely thank you for your time and support. I hope to see you on our next journey.